today we've got a 2008 e220d, which is having a few little repairs done to it, low suspension arm, alternator pulley, new belt, and also a bottom ball joint. Let's get involved. We're going to take the vehicle up in the air, but before we do, we need to get the wheels off. Make sure we've got the locker wheel nut out of the vehicle. Now I've got the vehicle up in the air, what I'm going to do is show you the ball joint has failed and how I'm going to do it. You can obviously see by the rust that it's failed. I'm going to show you a method how I do it. It's with a transmission jank, and a lot of these ball joints, sometimes you don't get any play in them until you take the weight off them, and that's what that jack is doing. As you can see here now, if I go up and down on the stand with my foot, we've got a lot of play in it. Right, let's get involved and get this wheel off. Now, a lot of you are probably going to think this is just a little bit overkill for the job that I'm doing. We've got to replace this arm anyway, so we've got to remove that ball joint, remove this ball joint here, so we might as well go ahead, just remove the tracker end, the caliper, and the upper bolt, and then we've got the whole steering arm now, the steering knuckle, out, and we can easily press this this ball joint in and out with a special tool that we've got, and I'm going to show you it being used right now. Now, to get this ball joint out, there is a master kit for it. I don't know if you can see it now. It's one by Welsh, Worken, Zirken, Bergen, Wergen, whatever you want to call it. And it is a great kit. You've got lots of little cups to fit various ball joints. And what it does, you put the sleeve on the outside, and you get like a big G-clamp. And then we nip it up. Get your gun. And this should push the ball joint out. Put it on full power. Like that. Beautiful. And just with a little bit of magic, because you've just seen that ball joint is pressed out nice and easily. Now, I could have done this on the car. Don't get me wrong, it could have been done on the car, but I thought to myself, well, I'm removing the other ball joint, I might as well take it off, and I'm not struggling underneath the vehicle holding everything. Just seeing how easy it was. Right, well, I'm waiting for the bottom ball joint to turn up. It should be here, but it's not. We're going to go around and remove this front suspension arm. Now, to replace this front suspension arm, just remove the two screws holding the plastic trims together and a 10mm up there, and that will allow you to just pull it up out the way, and you can put your spanner on the inside of the bolt and a 21 on the other side, and just take that bolt out. It's very simple to change. And that is one suspension arm off. I don't know if you can see it, but the bonding has broken away from the centre of the bush. Now, when you put a bar in there against the subframe, there is a lot of play in that front bush. But yeah, we're going to put the new one on now. And when we put it on, we've got to get that arm in a road position and tighten that bush, because if it's not, and you tighten it up when it's like that, when you do put it back on the ground, chances are it might rip that bush there. So you've always got to put them in a road position. Now I've jumped back around to the bottom ball joint, and I have pressed it in. Use the same tool, flip it over, change the attachment, and just press it in nicely. Right, let's get it back on the vehicle. As you've just seen me putting everything back together now, I've gone over it with a bar and made sure everything's nice and tight. ABS sensor wire is all coupled up correctly. Now, always when you're messing about with stuff like this, always give the wheel a bit of a spin after, and just make sure that that back plate isn't catching the disc, because it's an awful noise, like a scraping noise, and it can annoy you. Anyway, let's drop it down now and we can carry on with a bit of engine work. Now, to show you this alternator pulley, I have to put oil and filter in the car because we are doing it, but that is the new oil filter going in. We'll top it up now, and then I'll get it started and show you this pulley and how the tension is flapping about. Now, I've carried out the oil service. Now, what I'm going to show you is a failed alternator pulley and the symptoms of it. Now, what I'm going to do, I get my little apprentice Ben now to give it a big start. Now, you'll see this tensioner is probably going to look slow on the video, but actually it's going to be flapping real fast. You just get Ben to start it now. Give it a start. Now what we need to do to repair this is get the serpentine belt off and remove that alternator pulley. And I'm just going to show you how to do it now. Now once you've removed that belt with a 17mm spline on the tensioner, bar it down or bar it that way and then you can get the belt off. Now if you grab that pulley and you give it a flick, if it's a good pulley you can see the internals of the alternator spinning, and if it's a seized pulley it won't turn at all. But there is, we can replace them fairly easy, and there is a tool that goes in the centre here and we can get it off. I'll show you now. Now this tool, you can get them off Amazon and eBay. They're not very expensive. I've had this one years, as you can see. Some of the bits are stacked. I am due a new one, to be honest. They're only about 20-30 quid. The one part goes through the centre of the pulley and holds the alternator, and then this part of it holds the pulley itself. And what I do, a long aviation spanner, rest it up against the crank. Now it's righty loosey, lefty tighty, it's opposite thread. Give it a bar down, and that pulley, sometimes it can be easy coming undone and sometimes it can be a bit of a nightmare. Once you've slackened them off, just wind them out. And there you have it, that is one pulley removed. If I grab the centre of it now, you can see that it's spinning. But if I get the new one, if I hold the centre, the outer part of it is spinning. Right, let's get this new pulley on. Now as you can see, I've put the new alternator pulley on, and we've also put a brand new auxiliary belt as well. Now I'm going to get Ben to start it up for me again. You should see this tensioner nice and stable. Go on. Absolutely perfect. And not only that, you will notice a drastic improvement on the engine noise as well. So yeah, and there you have it. That is a few little repairs carried out on a Mercedes. Now we've given everything a wipe down, made it look like brand new for the customer. I'm going to torque this wheel up now. Now we all know that when you do suspension work, whether you're replacing a ball joint, tracker ends, coil spring or anything like that, you must carry out the tracking, check the geometry on it and reset, because it might be out, it might be okay, but you've got to get it checked. Anyway, for now, let's get it sent.